What better way to celebrate the beginning of a new year than by opening a newly released 8-track tape? I saw this announced on the 8-track subreddit recently. They only made 10 copies of this, so by the time you watch this, it's probably not going to be available anymore. It's from a group called Savannah Grand, and it's described as indie-infused lo-fi instrumental chill pop, and it's also available on cassette and digital download and streaming on Bandcamp, although the 8-track version contains some bonus tracks that are not available in the other versions. So here it is. They include some stickers for Emo Cow Records. And there is the tape itself, sealed. So it looks brand new, although I'm sure the tape is probably new old stock from 30 or 40 years ago. It says right on there, 8-track tape cartridge. As far as I know, they did not release it on VHS, but considering that it's on the picture of the album cover, they should release it on VHS. But they did release it on cassette as well. 8-track exclusive, 4 bonus tracks. From Yesterday's Perspective is the name of the album. There's the track listing. I don't know if these are going to be split up between the 4 programs on the tape, or if it's possibly short enough of an album that all 4 programs will repeat the same thing. But here it says, all songs recorded, mixed, and mastered by Savannah Grand. Piano, synths, and MIDI instruments. Some loops courtesy of Apple, so I guess they used GarageBand or something like that. Limited edition, I got number 7 of 10, and there you won't normally see that on an 8-track tape, a copyright date of 2020. Although I should point out that 8 tracks never really went away entirely. The last mainstream commercial releases were in 1988 from the Columbia House Tape Club, but throughout the 90s and 2000s and 2010s there were always small numbers of releases given away as promotional items or sold at gigs by bands. And I was surprised to find out that Dolly Parton released her Christmas album this year on 8-track tape, and you can actually buy it on Amazon, although it costs $40. And the funny thing is, it's listed as a cassette on Amazon because they don't even have a format listing for 8-track tapes. But I'm here to hear this on an 8-track, so let's open it up. So here we go, opening up the seal. So there it is, and that's something you don't normally see on 8-track tapes, a completely smooth and perfect condition label instead of the bubbling up and peeling and fading ones you normally see. It says Audio Pack, made in USA by Capitol Magnetic Products, division of Capitol Records Incorporated, and that looks like a homemade replacement of the foam rather than what this would have originally came with, which probably had already disintegrated by now. And it feels light enough that I'm wondering if they split this up between the different programs, because it doesn't feel like it has enough tape in it to fit the entire album on all 4 programs. I guess we'll have to find out. And the trouble is, I'm not familiar with all these tracks, so I wouldn't be able to tell just from listening which one we're listening to. Especially these bonus tracks you can't listen to online. And that is a rubber pinch roller. I know some of the really cheap tapes used a hard plastic pinch roller. I don't know how anybody thought that was a good idea, but this one has a real rubber pinch roller, so it should play perfectly fine. And to play on, I'm going to use my beautiful Sound Design combination cassette and 8-track deck, which I'm happy to report I was able to repair the 8-track deck. The plastic that holds the head in place had cracked. First I tried regular super glue. I didn't think that would work, and it turns out it didn't, because as soon as I tried to tighten the head back into place, it just cracked apart again. But then I tried this stuff, which I found at the hardware store. It's this Loctite Plastics bonding system, which claims to fuse hard-to-bond plastics. This actually does contain super glue, but they give you this bonding activator thing, And that really seems to make the difference, because so far it's been holding up perfectly, and I've played a bunch of tapes on it. I readjusted the azimuth and the head alignment, and now that's correct. And now it sounds great and it works fine, so I'm really happy with it. And as for this sound design deck, there were two of them on eBay when I uploaded my video about it. One of them that was in excellent, fully restored condition ended up selling for $380, which is absolutely insane, because once you include the shipping and tax, that means someone paid over $400 for a sound design. But definitely one of the nicest sound designs ever made. And there was another one that was in not as good condition, not guaranteed to be fully working. That one sold for $172. Also what I consider to be a pretty high price for one of these, because this one I got for $50 plus shipping. So that shows you how much of an effect I had on the resale value of this particular model. By the time you watch this video, there probably won't be any more of these 8-tracks left, but I'll give you some samples of what it sounds like in case you want to buy it on cassette or download or stream it. So here we go, playing a newly released 8-track tape in the year 2021.
It is an area which we call the Twilight Zone.
So that unexpected track change answered my question about how they recorded this. They just let it run, and if it happened to change tracks in the middle of the song, then so be it. And I was actually kind of surprised at how little interruption there actually was compared to commercially recorded 8-tracks, where if they had to split a track between different programs, you would hear it fade out, then there would be a couple seconds of silence, and then it would go kerchunk and change the track, and then it would fade back in. But this seemed to be much less interruption doing it this way, just let it run across the track change. And the sound quality was actually pretty good. I mean, obviously there's a lot of tape hiss, which is why I turned on the NRC, but otherwise the sound quality was actually surprisingly good. Had a lot of bass, and the funny thing is, because it's a so-called lo-fi album, that means they added artificial record surface noise to make it sound like vinyl, even though this is obviously not vinyl. So I'll include a link to this album on Bandcamp. Even if it's no longer available on 8-track, it may still be available on cassette, and you can always download or stream it. And even if you buy the 8-track or cassette, you get the free download and streaming. And Savannah Grand, if you're watching this, get on that VHS release. I mean, it's on the album cover, so why not?